Well, basically, the situation is this, right? There's a saying, and it goes, "Heavy is the head that wears the crown." If you are independent and strong, you're gonna have a real strong neck from wearing that crown all the time.
Good evening, and welcome to Between the Sheets, where we take 12 years of marriage experience and give unsolicited advice to those who choose to enter our room. So, tonight is story time. This is a story about how I chose submission for the man I wanted to marry before I walked out on him.
Wait a minute. She was walking nowhere.
Whatever, I was driving. Okay, so picture it. It's like, I don't know, 2008, 2007, something like that. I don't remember what we were arguing about. I had gotten into it earlier with some family, and I was already upset. I came to his house, and we were arguing about something to do with our wedding. At this point, we were already engaged.
It was not 2007, but go ahead.
I mean, we got engaged in 2007, so.
Continue.
All right. Whatever year it was during our engagement. We were arguing, and whatever it was unnecessary. Really, what it was, I was already upset and I was taking that out on him. And I chose to walk out. And I just walked out of the house. I got into my car and I was like, I'm leaving. I'm not dealing with this. It's whatever. He came out there and he was like, if you leave, it's over. We're not getting married. The engagement is off. It's done. And I sat out there in my car, mad as I don't know what. I don't know if I've ever been that mad in my life. And it honestly didn't have anything to do with him. I was just already mad. So, a little bit of a backstory. I was raised by a single mother. I have a ton of aunts who were all except for one single. My grandmother, single, because my grandfather died. They were married, but my grandfather died long before I was ever born, so she was single. My dad's mom, single. So I was raised by just a bunch of beautiful, intelligent, single black women, and that was all I saw. I knew nothing about submission. I knew nothing about really marriage, relationship, nothing of the sort. So I'm flying blind here, okay? So I'm sitting in my car and I'm mad. And I'm having a conversation with myself. Like, this man just said, if I leave, it's over. But who is he? Why does he get to say it's over just because I'm leaving? I'm mad at him. Why I can't just leave? So I sat there and I said, listen, do you want to be mad or do you want to be with this man? This wonderful, amazing man who loves you down to his toes, to the depths of his soul, and has shown you repeatedly that he loves you, he cares for you, he wants to build a life with you. He wants you, right? Or do you want to be mad? Do you want to feel like you won? And how long are you going to feel like you won when you know that you love this man? You know that this is your best friend. You know that this is your soulmate. You know that this is the person that you're supposed to be with. So you can drive away right now and go back to your little lonely apartment. Or you can walk back into the house and choose to sit down and have a conversation with him. Choose to sit down and not be mad because he didn't even do anything. This argument is not even about him. It has nothing to do with him, and you're taking it out on him. In that moment, sitting in my car, I made the conscious decision that I had to submit to this man. And I know y'all don't like that word because you feel like it means to bow down,
Slavery.
and to be a slave and to lay down and just take it. And that's not what that word means. It just means mostly to not do what I was doing. I was taking out my anger for something that he had nothing to do with on him. I wasn't allowing him to speak. I wasn't allowing him to guide. He was honestly just trying to help me through what I was going through, and I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want his help. I didn't want his guidance. I didn't want him telling me what he thought I should do or how he thought I should handle it or anything like that. From that moment on in our relationship, It's easier now, but I did have to have conversations with myself repeatedly that he's loving you through this. Okay? He's not trying to control you. He's not trying to make you do something you don't want to do. It's a stubbornness in us sometimes. And it's kind of it's subliminal, it's conditioned in us because it's what we see or what we don't see. When you don't see a man and a woman together having this effective communication, these effective conversations, this dialogue, this help that is supposed to happen, you look at a man trying to help, assist, quote unquote, control a woman as a negative thing. But there's no control in a healthy relationship. He doesn't control me. I don't control him. We function as a unit. It is a collaborative effort. And it's fluid. It's constantly moving and evolving. 12 years later, we're still working it out. It's still a constant learning situation, right? I know you guys have heard this before. The man is the head. The man is the head, but the woman is the neck, right? The head can't turn without the neck. But if there is no head, then the neck is dead. You gotta, them bars. Anyway, you have to learn to work as a unit. And at some point in time, if you truly want a relationship to work, a marriage to work, you have to make the conscious decision. You have to choose submission. And again, submission does not mean I lay down and he just tells me what to do. That's not it. It is a communication. Babe, you want to add anything? Jump in here
I was
somewhere?
trying not to like cut you off because you was flowing so nicely.
Thank you.
I mean, in that situation when you had to speak to yourself, like what exactly was it that was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to just put my independentness to the side and go in there and try to work it out, or as you said, submit. I don't I don't know in that situation if it was a submission type of situation, but if you say it was, I guess it was. I can see how it led
Yeah.
to the submissions, or being a submissive type of wife. But like, what was it? Was it some type of little voice in the back of your head, or was it like, okay, I don't really want this to be over,
That's
so
what it
let me just
was.
go
I
ahead.
literally asked myself if I was ready to walk away from you because of this. Are you ready to walk away from him? That was my exact question to myself. And I said, damn it, no. I sat there for a little while longer though. I did. I didn't get out right away because you're not gonna tell me what to do. You're not gonna threaten me. In hindsight, it's hilarious. At the time, it was terrifying though, because it really was like a fork in the road. You can either get out of this car and go back into this house and start your life with this man, or you can drive away and figure something else out.
But
Because he meant what he
what's
said.
going to be said though? I can foresee it. What's going to be said? Well, girl, he wasn't even your husband. Like, what are you doing submitting to somebody that you're not even married to?
He was
Because
he
I'm
wasn't
sorry,
my husband yet.
I wasn't. But the thing is, like, because we're in this realm of, I'm not going to do anything for you. I'm not going to submit to you unless I have a ring on my finger. But even
I did have
then,
a ring on
when
my
I
finger, though.
have no,
I
what I'm
know.
saying. But even then, it's still not a submission thing because submission is slavery.
It's not slavery.
But my thing is, if if that is the case, so like I going back to your story, wh- after you submitted, you said that it was still kind of like a work in progress and you still had to have these many conversations with yourself. But why do you think that is? Do you think it was just because you were around a bunch of single women your whole life and you never got a chance to see this type of role? Or do
I
you think that society played a role in it plus that, or do you think that it was just you yourself just being like, well, I want to do for myself, and he can't tell me what to do, and this is controlling, and just whatever other kind of situation or excuse that comes up in your mind for
I
not to do it.
I think it was a combination of all of it. I think a very large part of it though was being raised by a single woman. I know my dad. My dad was in my life. Don't get me wrong. Me and my dad are cool. But 90% of the time, I was at home with my mom. And when I wasn't at home with my mom, I was with my aunts or I was with my grandmother. It was always a single woman that I was with, and she was in charge of everything. She was the head of everything. And so I went off to college, and now I'm building my life, and I am the head of my life, and no one's going to tell me what to do. It doesn't even matter if it's right. I don't care that you're right. It's almost like, and I'm sure some women are like, well, that's not how I feel. He not right. But ask yourself, is he giving you sound advice? Is he making sense? Is he talking you down from your emotional tirade or whatever that you're going through? Because sometimes we get real emotional, right? And we act on emotion and we don't act on logic. And y'all gonna get mad at me, but we don't act on logic. We don't act on all of the facts. We take how we feel, and that's how we act.
In the comments, speak for
I
yourself.
know.
Speak for yourself. We act on logic as well.
No, we don't. We don't. We do sometimes now. But when you get mad or you get hurt, you don't. You act on the emotion. And you sometimes take it out on other people. And sometimes you just don't want to be wrong, even when you know you're wrong. And I know that for a fact because many times we have these conversations amongst ourselves. Like, I know I was wrong, but he just gone. You just need to deal with it because what? If you're wrong, you're wrong. You acted out in anger. You're mad at him for something you didn't even understand. And now you need to go back and apologize, but you're not going to. You just gonna say, I cooked dinner. Come on, let's have sex. How you doing today? You're never gonna say, I'm sorry and I'm guilty of it. We just had this conversation the other day.
What do you call that though?
I don't know. I don't know what to call that.
A word that has become so overused, and it's almost like somebody is stabbing tiny needles into the eardrums of people. It's called accountability.
Oh,
And nobody wants to hear that, and nobody wants a man to say that word, because if he says that word, then it's automatically a problem. But on both sides, there has to be accountability.
yes.
So if you're
100%.
expecting the men to be able to take accountability ever in a relationship, then you must do the same. So like you were just saying, if you need to apologize because you did something wrong, said something wrong, you misconstrued some details, and now you acted out of that, it needs to be some sort of an apology, you know? That's a lot of times that's really one of the biggest things you can do in a relationship, especially with the man, is just apologize, you know, and hopefully don't do it again. But like that apology definitely goes a long way, you know, and that helps a lot. But continue.
I don't know. I think submission is a conscious decision that we have to make. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman being independent and strong, independent, strong-minded, and all of those things when you're single, because you don't have a choice. There's no one else taking care of you. But when you find a man, a husband to actually take care of you, to watch out for you, to help you, then you have to lay that down. You gotta take that off your shoulders, sis. It's a lot of that's a heavy weight. It's weighing you down. Take it off and put it right here, okay? And then when he get home, massage his shoulders. Sometimes, not all the time.
No,
Just
all the
sometimes.
time.
I'm just saying.
Because my shoulders be hurting. Bro.
That's because of your work. I'm not about to deal with you.
Anyway.
I'm just saying it's a heavy burden to bear, right? And once again, y'all gonna get mad, but we weren't meant to carry that burden.
They're not gonna get mad. They know they're not meant to carry that burden.
We were not meant to carry that burden, and I am so glad that I took it off of my shoulders and I handed it over to him.
Pause though.
Because I don't want to deal with it.
Pause really quick though. So, listening to what you just said that there's nothing wrong with being an independent woman and being strong while you're single. So,
because you have to be.
Pause. To a certain extent.
Yes.
But if you're overly, this is my opinion. So y'all get mad all y'all want to. It's just an opinion. This is my opinion that if you are overly independent and super strong, then you're not going to have a very good time. One, being able to recognize this man that could possibly take this off of your shoulders. And two, you're not going to have a good time being able to actually put it down at all. Because if you're independent for extreme amount of time, then at what point are you going to allow a man to even step into
That's
that
true.
space? Because right now we're in a situation to where we're in this gender war that's just getting blown way out of proportion, and women are screaming they don't need men, especially black women screaming they don't need black men, and black men are just saying, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to approach. I'm not going to try to help them out. I'm not going to try to protect them. And some black men, there are those black men that are out there just being, these are the dudes that are doing black women, any woman wrong, cheating. Some of them are abusive. And it's just ridiculous. So you have that group of men, and then you have the good men that are just like, yo, what's happening right now? I can't help you if you won't allow me to help you because you're so strong and independent. But if you're so strong and independent, you don't need me to help you do anything. And I can hear right now, you're right. We don't need them. But at what point are we going to get this together? You know what I'm saying? So it's a situation to where you said that you basically had to fight yourself to submit, right? But here's the thing that I need people to understand. If you find a man to submit to, a good man, I'm not talking about you finding someone
dude, suitable for submission.
Right. I'm not talking about you find a dude and you see all types of red flags and you take this guy on as some sort of a project and you're trying to submit to him, causing you to have more emotional damage than you had in the first place. Not talking about him. I'm talking about a good guy, that's willing to, actually help you out in this scenario. Because those guys definitely still exist. And it's more of them than what you think. So my thing is this, right? Understand that once you find that guy, if you fight yourself, hopefully you don't have to fight yourself like she had to fight herself.
Most of y'all gonna have to fight yourself.
If you are able to do that, even if you're thinking in your head, this word submission is some type of terrible word. The thing is, if you find it in your heart in your mind or whatever you want to, whatever space that you have to be able to submit to him, typically that man will submit to you as well. It's not just a one-way street. So, like, if you are allowing him to lead, submit to him, this man give his life for you. Like, do pretty much anything you ask him to do. That's
And
that's a form of submission right there. So
that he would bend over backwards to see me smile, to make me not hurt. You do.
you gonna put my business out there in the
Yes.
street? Nah,
He's,
no.
this is a wonderful husband, okay?
But
Like,
go ahead.
you just, I, to the point that you made about women saying that they don't need a man, let me say this. Maybe you don't need the man that you've been having, but when you find a good man, you need him. I'm not afraid to say that I need my husband. I cannot express to you enough how much I don't want to carry his burden. I don't want to be solely responsible for the safety of our children and our home. I don't want to be solely responsible for stupid stuff like taking out the trash and getting my oil changed, knowing that I need my oil changed. I don't want to do that.
Destroying the whole engine.
Destroyed the engine, okay? Engine was kaput because he wasn't paying attention. That's who I blame.
No, that's my fault.
Yes, it's not my responsibility.
I'll take that one.
It's not my responsibility to know that car needed an oil change.
It's a whole oil light in there. But anyway.
It didn't come on.
Oh, okay.
It didn't come on. I
All
swear
right.
it didn't come on. But we
Okay.
getting off topic. I don't want the responsibility that he carries, okay? My responsibility is to make sure our children are happy, healthy, they're well fed, they're well educated, they are protected, they are loved, and all of those things. Not to say that he doesn't also do those things, but tunnel vision. I take care of our home. I don't clean like I should, but that's none of y'all business.
Let's say business now. Because you just told me.
I did. But I just, that whole lay down your life, who wants to walk around with that burden on their shoulders? I don't. I like being alive, and I know he does too. But that is his burden to carry. You are supposed to protect me and those little children that we made with your life.
And the guys in the comment, and what is he getting for that? What is he
He's
getting?
getting a happy home. He getting a wife that take care of him when he get home.
It's pretty happy over here.
We real happy over here, okay? It's ecstatic over here. We still in the honeymoon phase 12 years later because we take care of each other. We listen to each other. We help guide each other. When he got a difficult client and he don't know how to respond and he done got in that email and said something sideways, and I have to come back and put a little finesse on it like, no, babe, you can't say that. No, that's not right. Let's fix this. That's where the head and the neck comes in. When I done came in and, I don't know, talking about I want to take these kids to Egypt or something ridiculous that's going to cost us $10,000, $15,000 for no good reason, then he going to be like, ma'am, no, reel that back. Let's go to Orlando. Like these are the types of very simple, very surface. We're not delving real deep in here. Just to be clear, before y'all come in the comments talking about that's not what the roles are.
Right.
But it's the simple stuff. It really is. I'm the only woman in our house. Guess what I don't do? Take out the trash, do yard work, change my oil. I don't do those things. I do not. I cook. I clean. I take care of the kids. He does too. All the time. I make lesson plans. I make sure the kids have fun. He don't make sure the kids have fun. That's not his thing. It's not. But he disciplines. When they act a complete fool and they no longer listen to me, who I call? Him. Come get your kids. because they not following directions no more. Guess what they do?
Follow directions immediately.
Immediately. It's a partnership. And you have to make the conscious decision to be a partnership. You cannot have two bosses. It don't work like that. Okay? Somebody, you got to play your role. It's just that's what it boils down
Role.
to.
What roles? There's no roles.
I don't have time. That's a conversation for another night.
Well, basically the situation is this, right? There's a saying, and it goes, heavy is the head that wears the crown. If you are independent and strong, you're gonna have a real strong neck from wearing that crown all the time. You can wear it if you want to, for as long as you want to, but I can tell you from looking at people around me, especially older women, when you start getting around 45, on up getting close to 50, and you by yourself, it starts getting real, real lonely. And then you get inching closer and closer to the end of life. Yeah, sure, you can still enjoy the rest of your life without a man. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But it is always nice to have great companionship. And part of that companionship is falling in, whatever role you're supposed to be into. You know, if a woman is, in the role of submission, the husband turns around and he submits to her, that makes everything 100% great. That's my take on it.
I'm just saying, if you want a happy, cohesive relationship, house, home, choose submission, choose partnership, whatever you want to call it. If partnership makes you feel better about the word, go with it. Just know that each partner plays a role and they don't have the same one.
They do not, or you're gonna run around butting heads all day. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't be me and I be me at the same time. It just does not work. If that's the case, then we just both need to be single. But yeah, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome. This concludes our story time for the evening.
The end.
Until next time.
Peace.